your dad and animals in movies. He's been haunted. There is this scene in Samson and Delilah where he has to fight the lion, and that became a real bone of contention between DeMille and your dad. What did he tell you about that, or what do you remember in that particular story?
Well, I remember, I know that my dad had a lot of respect for DeMille, and DeMille really wanted him to be in this film. And then when they started working together, they had different ideas as to what my dad's job was going to be. Cecil B. DeMille wanted my dad to, he said to my dad, okay, I want you to fight with the lion. And my dad was like, no. And then
a real lion.
A real lion. And he's like, well, it's okay. He doesn't have any teeth. Nothing will happen. Just, open his mouth, put your head in, and it'll be fine. and my dad's like, I don't even want to be gone to that. No. And he would ask, not just my dad, he would, ask so many people in many of his movies to do things that today we would be like, no, you would never do that. You never put your star in that kind of jeopardy, and then how do you finish the movie if something happens to them?
But there was Safari, where he was in Africa and they wanted him to wade into a river, and they couldn't use a double because they were going to shoot him from the waist up. And this was like a river in Africa with hippos and crocodiles. And your dad said, no, I'm not going to do that. And they said, don't worry, we're going to have all the staff go and bang all the pots and pans and get all the crocodiles off the riverbank so you can just wade in there. And your dad said, what about the deaf crocodiles? So there was a real concern. Another thing is that I never knew about your dad until we talked was the fact that he was, I guess maybe from his father, quite the entrepreneur and really helped CinemaScope get his feet under itself with the rope. I didn't know your dad was in that business. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, on Pico Boulevard in the early 50s, my dad opened his appliance and television store. So he was basically direct competition for the movie industry. He's one of the reasons why CinemaScope was invented, because he was selling televisions and people were staying home and not going to the movies.
Right. The Victor Mature television store.
It
exists.
Yes, the Victor Mature appliance store.
Yeah.
On Pico Boulevard. An Indian restaurant.
Real quickly, because we are getting near. Your dad, you were born like late in his life. Any specific memories or advice that your dad gave you that you remember? I mean, you grew up in Rancho Santa Fe in San Diego, not in Hollywood, so you were away from all the Hollywood business. But what was it like growing up with your dad on a day-to-day basis?
Well, every time we would go out to dinner, it would take about a half an hour, and then someone would come up to the table, come to my mom, and can I kiss your husband? And my mom would be kind of annoyed, but I knew that she was really annoyed, so I was going to help the situation. Like, no, you can't. I wasn't very accommodating. And I couldn't figure out why. Why were these people coming up wanting to kiss my dad? And he drove me to school, elementary school, every morning. He taught me my multiplication tables. He drove me to the bus when I was in high school. I was always late, and he was always driving in the middle of the road in his boat Cadillac and cussing under his breath and trying to get there, and he'd pull out in front of the bus to stop them from leaving. And sadly, I had to go to school then, so I tried hard, but I still had to go.
Your dad really, I think, doesn't get enough credit for being a versatile actor. And when he was given parts like Kiss of Death, like Darling Clementine, he really shone. But a lot of people tend to poke a little bit of fun at these DeMille pictures, but I don't think there was anyone better that could play Samson and the type of roles that he played. And what did he call that? Making with the holy look.
Yeah, my dad, after he made 1 Million BC and a couple of the other films with Hollywood Studios, 1 Million BC was the most famous of all of those, and he worried that he was going to be thought of by everyone in Hollywood as someone that just could grunt and groan, and that was it, because that movie's, he played a caveman and they spoke a fictitious language. And so he decided he was going to go to New York, because at that time that was, you go to New York, you'd be on Broadway, you'd come back, and you would get better roles and people would take you seriously. So he was supposed to do a play with a group theater, which later, with most of the same members, became the Actors Studio. But it turned out that they weren't getting along. The group theater disbanded a couple months later. But on the plane from LA to New York, he was with Betty Grable. He got noticed by one of the producers of this new musical by Kurt Weill, Ira Gershwin, Moss Hart, called Lady in the Dark. And they had been searching for the Randy Curtis, because it's basically a beautiful Hollywood actor coming from LA to New York. And so he goes to the audition, he feels bad because there's all these people in the wings that are proper singers and they're all worked up and doing all of their work, and he comes out there and he starts speaking some Yiddish, and then little hawk and fennel, some silly thing like that, and they all start laughing, and he knows he's getting this part. And so there he was on Broadway, opening in January of 1941. He had his own song in this Broadway musical with Gertrude Lawrence and Danny Kaye and McDonald Carey. He came back to Hollywood and he did one of the first Moors, I Wake Up Screaming.